As you said, back in September, I was pleased to see the presidents of Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, and Panama come together to launch the Alliance for Development and Democracy. In addition to strengthening democratic institutions, the Alliance's emphasis on economic growth and development is a much welcome initiative. There is a substantial opportunity for collaboration and cooperation between the U.S. and the Alliance. We are democracies united by our shared principles, values, and culture. We're also confronting shared challenges and threats. The United States and Congress remain committed to supporting the Alliance partners' recovery from the pandemic, addressing joint threats, cooperating on regional challenges, and promoting democratic governance. And as Chairman said, we recently traveled to the Dominican Republic together with Congressman Espaillat and met with President Abinader and members of his cabinet. We also saw the tangible impact the U.S.-funded security and development investments have made. While I'm pleased that the Dominican government has prohibited the CCP's malign investment in critical sectors, I hope to see that expand to 5G and matters of citizen security. The House Foreign Affairs Committee and many other congressional colleagues have long expressed concern about China's activities in the region, and we hope this alliance provides a forum for greater opportunities to promote transparency and high-quality investments. Additionally, I was proud to have co-sponsored the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative Authorization Act, which would help the Dominican Republic and our Caribbean neighbors get the necessary resources to support disaster resilience, promote human rights, and combat the criminal organizations that victimize their countries. Important progress has been made on these shared goals. I'm pleased to see how under the administration of President Abinader, the U.S. and the Dominican Republic have a deeper opportunity to expand cooperation on confronting shared security challenges, including organized crime, narcotics trafficking, and citizen security. I also recently met with Panama's foreign minister, and we discussed a challenge confronting all three partners of the United States, and that's out of control migration and immigration issues. At the end of 2021, over 120,000 migrants had passed through the Darien Gap, many en route to our southern border. The United States owes Panama a great deal of credit for alerting us to the crisis that erupted in Del Rio, Texas. At no point should the Biden administration, including Secretary Mayorkas, have claimed they did not have prior knowledge. Panama sounded the alarm, and the administration did not act until a humanitarian crisis was on our doorsteps and in our communities. I look forward to hearing from our witnesses about how the U.S. can play a productive role in mitigating the migration crisis that continues to impact all three alliance partners. In particular, we must have a serious discussion on how the U.S. can support regional efforts to curb Haitian migration. In addition to Panama, the U.S. is equally indebted to Costa Rica. 2020 set a new record for the amount of illicit narcotics by Costa Rican authorities, a twofold increase from the previous year. That is incredibly admirable. This is a result of Costa Rica's strong will to combat the scourge of drug trafficking, as organized criminal groups have seized on the country as a key transit point for U.S.-bound narcotics. I appreciate Costa Rica's efforts to help keep citizens in our hemisphere and in the U.S. safe from illicit narcotics. In closing, I'm glad we're holding a hearing today to discuss this promising development in Latin America and the Caribbean. Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, and Panama have developed an ideal model that Chairman Sears and I and many others agree should be replicated. They are also ideal partners for nearshoring investments in the region, and we look forward to supporting these efforts. In particular, I look forward to engaging with all three partners on my Western Hemisphere Nearshoring Act that aims to bring jobs back from communist China to our allies in Latin America and the Caribbean. I'm working closely with Chairman Sears and Congressman Espaillat to formulate this bipartisan bill, which will be introduced soon. There has never been a better time to discuss expanding trade, international investments, and nearshoring in the Western Hemisphere that benefits like-minded democratic partners. Thank you, and I yield. The Alliance has identified sustainable development as a key focus. What would a more effective and sustainable development and foreign assistance strategy in the region look like, and what contributions can the United States make? What do we need to make our priority?
Thank you, Congressman. That's a great question. I'd say the first thing is we better answer the mail on COVID vaccines. To the extent we leave a vacuum on COVID vaccines, they're going to go to the crappy Chinese and Russian vaccines. And in a number of countries, including in Central America and the Caribbean, we've been, we haven't been, we shouldn't give ourselves an A in being responsive to our friends. That's the first thing I'd say. Second, we didn't want the digital rails of the future controlled by Huawei and ZTE. These countries are waking up to the fact that this isn't so great. So I think to the extent that we can help enable digital rails of the future that are not Huawei and ZTE. That's the second thing. The third is on nearshoring. We've got to think about this is the best opportunity the Western Hemisphere is going to have in the last 30 years. Like as you see these shifts, we ought to be using our foreign aid as a lubricant to lubricate shifts in global supply chains. Fourth, my other thought would be is the magic number, Congressman, is 8,000. We need to have a 20-year strategy on global migration in the Western Hemisphere. We don't have uncontrolled migration or whatever we want to call it from places like Panama, the DR, Costa Rica. Why is that? Those countries all have hit the magic number of $8,000 per capita. So when you look at when a country hits $8,000 per capita, más o menos, people stop migrating. So we want to get as many countries in the Western Hemisphere to the level of $8,000 per capita as fast as we can. And so we need to take a long-term view. This is this is a 10 or 20-year project. So we're going to have these challenges of migration, whether it's Haiti or otherwise, for a long time. These small countries have been very generous, sir, in terms of hosting these folks. We'd be surprised in places like Tennessee or New York or New Jersey, your constituents would be surprised at how generous these small countries have been in hosting hundreds of thousands of migrants.
And that $8,000, I assume, is in today's dollars. So a 20-year plan's got to, take into consideration inflation.
Yes, sir.
Especially these days, where should we seek? What specific? Now, you gave some very good specifics. I was taking notes, and we'll refer back to this testimony. But where else can we specifically partner with the alliance? As it goes to, as far as trade and things like that go. I know we're pushing the nearshoring stuff and getting capital through the DFC and the IDB and others to make these moves from China. But where else can we partner in this?